Welcome back, everybody. This is Moves and Beyond. I'm Callum. That's Kyle. What the fuck just went outside my fucking house? Someone was screaming?
Local smackhead again.
Probably. Always is. Can you hear that?
Can't hear it. I'll probably hear it in the final vid.
You drinking, Kyle?
Yes, I'm going myself a cognac.
That's disgusting. Are you working tomorrow?
Turns out I'm working earlier now as well, so yeah. I know. Fucking disappointment.
You piece of shit. Anyway, Star Wars. Sorry, I'm just so unfocused with the smackheads outside my house. It's always the case. Anyway, Kyle, you want some good news? You want some bad news?
I heard it then. I would like some good news.
Okay, let's get into it. So, this is breaking, like, today, like, about an hour ago. We are getting a new Star Wars trilogy from Simon Kinberg. Now, obviously, Simon Kinberg is most famous for producing and writing some of the X-Men films. You know, he helped write on the first Deadpool. Kinda shit the bed a bit with Dark Phoenix. He wrote and directed that. But he's the co-creator behind Star Wars Rebels with Dave Filoni. And he's going to be working on episode 10, 11, and 12. We've heard, we've got no proper story details, but what we have heard that it's going to continue the story that George Lucas started in 1977. My only thing with this is, we hear Star Wars news, someone's attached to it, and then it's like, oh yeah, a year later, yeah, this is no longer happening. Now, I think they know they can't be making mistakes like that now. They can't be attaching people to projects unless they're really sure. Because, we're supposed to get a Rian Johnson trilogy. That didn't happen. Wonder Woman director, what's her name? If you won't mind searching that for me. She was supposed to do Rogue Squadron. That ain't happening anymore.
Kind of sad about that. I was quite looking forward to
Game of Thrones showrunners were supposed to be doing some at Star Wars. It's kind of why they rushed. It's kind of why they rushed season 8, because they wanted to get onto.
Liked it regardless. Yeah,
they wanted to get onto Star Wars.
Yeah, it was Star Wars first, and then they fucking left that, and then went to Netflix and made
Free Body Problem.
I think it. Yeah, and I've tried watching it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
3 episodes, so I was like,
This is shit. This is fucking abysmal.
But
I'm not even being careless with them, because they fucked up a really good show, and I've lost favour with them, so kind of glad that's not happening.
But Simon Kinberg has done some good stuff.
Patty Jenkins, by the way.
Patty Jenkins, that's it.
Wonder Woman director.
Simon Kinberg's done some good stuff. I'm not going to write him off right away. It's not said that he's directing these, which is good. I don't think he did a great job directing Dark Phoenix. It probably put a bit of pressure on him, writing, directing, producing, because he does all that. I don't mind if he writes this trilogy and then brings in different directors for every episode. I think that's great. Now, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here, like all at once.
For every movie, not episode.
Episodes.
Or do you mean like episode as in like...
It's episode 10, 11 and 12.
Right.
So...
so is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, well, you should have listened when I introduced the story, you cunt. So...
It's Star Wars, couldn't give a shit.
Well, that's the fight. That's the thing. I do give a shit about Star Wars, and I want to care about it. But every bit of Star Wars news we get, well, mind you, apart from last week, I think that trailer for Skeleton Crew, I thought that was pretty good. I rather enjoyed that. I watched 2 episodes of Acolyte this year. Didn't watch the rest of it, even though there was all them people who were watching it and saying it gets worse and worse. Well, why are you watching it then if you're not enjoying it? idiots. But
Fucking idiot.
look, Kimberg's done some good stuff, and I want Star Wars to be in a good place. And people say it shouldn't be in Disney. Disney shouldn't have it. Well, Disney does. There's no you can do about that now. Unless they decided to sell it, Disney owns Star Wars. So there's no that people can do about that. But I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Do you think... I suppose we'll really know the answer to this when The Mandalorian and Grogu comes out. Do you think people are now ready for more Star Wars films? Because it's been 5 years since The Rise of Skywalker. And do you think continuing the episodic story is where they should go? And also, do you think Rey's going to be in this? I don't. I think they're actually going to move on from Daisy Ridley now. I think they've kind of flipped that whole thing on its head, and I think they're going to do what they did with episode 7. But try get it right this time.
The big issue with that is
Palpatine will return again, of course. We know that.
I fucking hope not. But
somehow,
somehow Palpatine will return. Yeah, you're right. But no, I think they should just leave the, let's call it the sacred timeline of movies. They should just leave it now because they've botched it. They clearly didn't know what they were doing. They jumped right into it.
Without a plan. They jumped right
without
in without a plan.
Yeah. And I get that they wanted to try and do something where it felt like, like they said... So I remember hearing this. I'm pretty sure I heard this back when Force Awakens came out, and someone said, we wanted to go at this as in, like, we just do every movie as they come. So it's like, we're not going to plan ahead for this. We're just going to make the story flow. And they were like, that's how they did it, with the original trilogy. And it's like, well, wait, no, hang on a minute. No, they didn't. Because the original trilogy was, well, at least for the first two, they were supposed to be just one film. But because of everything that happens, there's a lot of, there was a lot going on. They actually broke it down into the trilogy that we got. So, yeah.
Can I just say before you move on, I just need to inject this in here. I love The Force Awakens, and I always will, and I remember the build up to that. That were somewhat special. But continue.
Yeah, I agree. It was a fun film. I definitely think it was a really fun film. The Last Jedi, I think that was a great film, just a bad Star Wars film. That's where I sit with it. I like The Last Jedi. Watch it.
I like it.
Yeah, I can watch it, and I can enjoy it. But as if you look at it from a Star Wars perspective, I fucking hate it. Like, I really despise it.
There's only one thing I hate in The Last Jedi, and that's the Canto Bight stuff, the casino planet. Didn't fit in there at all.
Oh, I hate that, that scene completely. I like the idea of it. I just think it was executed so poorly.
And which leads on to The Rise of Skywalker, when it's like, they kind of had a plan then, and then they didn't stick to it because they thought, we're going to wind people up even more. They set up this great thing of, no, Rey doesn't have to be attached to anyone. And it was like, oh no, she's a Palpatine, she's this, she's that. And it's like, what you ended up doing was making something for no one because you tried to please everyone in the last film. Don't get me wrong, Rise of Skywalker, there were some moments where I got some kicks out of it, but very forgettable.
I think the I'm going to say this. So, out of everything, Callum, and this is my honest opinion, like, one of the few things I really liked about the trilogy was, we did get Luke Skywalker back. Maybe it wasn't in, like, the best way possible, but we got Luke back, and I appreciate that. We get to see an older Luke. Kylo Ren, such wasted potential, and it was sad that they did what they did at the end of the, it would have definitely not saved the film, but definitely made it a lot better in regards to how the story is and where they're in the universe, because Adam Driver should have been the one that survived. Rey should have been the one that, sacrificed herself or whatever, flip the tables a little bit, give us something new, give us something different, something fresh, and, some of that's not predictable. And also, there is one other thing. I've completely forgotten what they're called. It is the little dudes that go into C-3PO's...
yeah, Babu Frick.
Babu Frick, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I think if we had to get this trilogy, which wasn't that great, just to get Babu Frick, then I
Yeah.
guess I'm okay with it.
But, you know, you're hearing this stuff about a new trilogy. I Do you think people are ready for it? Do you think people will go out and support this like they did with The Force Awakens? Do you think they can build that hype up again? Because I remember 2015, and, you know, obviously this is not to do with us, but I remember when that trailer dropped on that, it was a college football game in America, which the trailer dropped with, and I just remember watching it and that Kylo Ren line of, like, nothing will stand in our way, I'll finish what you started, and just the goosebumps it gave me. Do you think they can capture that magic again now that they've
No,
left it for so long? I completely agree with you. I don't think they can.
absolutely not, because
They need to
the,
build back up now.
yeah, it was a new era, it was a fresh start, and unfortunately they kind of botched it towards the end of it. And you know, that's not going to do anyone any favors. That's why I think when it comes to sort of the Mandalorian film, that has built up a nice fandom, it's built up trust, and that's why people are excited for it. And you know, I think I'm probably going to get not the exact same feeling, but I'm going to get a feeling of, oh my god, I'm so excited for Star Wars. Like, I have not had that feeling in
Yeah.
such a long time, Colin. Like,
It's...
you know,
Yeah.
like I think the next thing that I'd say I'm excited for is that I'm over the moon to see, and my excitement is locked in, is season 2 of Andor. That's
Yeah.
where the peak of my hype is for now, and obviously the Mandalorian and Grogu film, that's up there with it. But other than that, I couldn't care about this trilogy, as sad as it sounds.
Yeah. They've made... Look, I love Star Wars, and I'm not a Disney hater. I've like a lot of the things that Disney's done with Star Wars. I'd say when Force Awakens came out and Rogue One, they were batting 2 for 2 then. No one could stop them, apart from themselves. I think the one thing that they did wrong was, and why The Force Awakens felt so special when it came out, was Star Wars was an event. It was special, you know. And I'm not saying, before I say this, I love Marvel more than anything. They have kind of made Star Wars, even though we ain't had a film in 5 years, they've kind of made it feel like Marvel. And when a new film's coming out, it's like, oh, new... You know, because when there's a new Marvel film coming out, I'm excited for it. I'm like, oh yeah, new Marvel film's coming out. But I never felt... Even when Infinity War was coming out, and Endgame, maybe Endgame, actually, I never really felt that... what I felt before The Force Awakens came out. It's hard to put your finger on it.
I understand what you mean. I get it.
They've made it not so special. I think they should have done one film every 3 years or something.
I somewhat disagree
Now,
with the 3 year.
but, you know, we wouldn't have got, you know, stuff like The Mandalorian if they were doing stuff like that, which I love as well. But yeah, they've kind of made Star Wars feel not special. But they can
Yeah,
people who think they can't earn that back, they can. A string of good films, like this Mandalorian and Grogu film, if it's amazing, if episode 10's amazing, people are going to be pumped for 11. If 11's amazing, people are going to be like, oh my god, I can't wait for episode 12.
I don't know. Like you say, it conflicts it, because you've got the sequel trilogy, which is renowned to be not so loved by fans. You know, I'd say more fans dislike it than like it, and that's a fair assumption. You know, I'm not saying it's fact, but when you're saying, oh yeah, they can build up that hype and trust, not to that point though of, say, The Force Awakens, where it felt like an event. I don't think they can build that
They'll
up.
never get it there. But like I say, they've made it feel like Marvel. They need to play it like Marvel now. They've already lost the chance to, you know, make it feel special and make it feel like an event. Right now, we need to play it like this other franchise we own, which no one's been able to replicate. Not even the people who own it. They can't even replicate it for this other franchise.
I don't know. I feel like doing that, investing time and money into sort of new characters that we might not even like, new stories that we don't care about, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, kind of focus on what you've got and what's working for you now. Obviously Andor, they can't do anything more with that. Mandalorian Grogu, they can do a couple more bits with that. Ahsoka, that's still up in the air. Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, yeah, they won't be telling us anything in the future. Like, obviously, there will be nothing pushing the timeline for Star Wars forward necessarily, but they can still give us great content with those two actors about. That's where I stand with this, Colin. I don't think it's a good idea to keep going forward with this now. Just leave it. Stop there. They've ended it in such a shitty spot. They've ended it in such a shitty way. I just don't see how they can maneuver about it.
This goes on to my thing of, when we was on about the Rey movie, and I was like, a lot of people don't want to see the Rey movie. And look, I like Daisy Ridley. I thought she did the best she could with what she was given. I'd love to see Rey get redeemed as a character and be liked in the eyes of the fans. I'd love to see that.
But I just say I completely agree with that, yeah.
But this is what I mean, this idea of redemption. You're telling me you wouldn't want to see... I'm not saying it will happen. And I think there's a fucking fat chance it will happen. But you're telling me they ended it in a shitty way. You wouldn't like to see another trilogy that came out and it was all perfect and end it that way. Now listen to what I said. Listen to what I said before you speak. I don't think this will happen, but you're telling me you wouldn't want to see a perfect trilogy to end Star Wars.
The risk is too high. And
yes, but I've said it might not happen, but listen, would you want to see a perfect trilogy to end Star Wars? Yes or no?
It's a difficult question, that, because let me just explain why I find it difficult. As like, I get what you're saying, but I'd say yes if it was the trilogy we already got and that ended it perfectly. Going forward, no. No. Just leave it now, because you can't do it perfectly. All your main characters that we know and love, that we've followed for Star Wars for so many years, and they weren't in obviously any of the prequels. I'm talking about Luke, Han, and Leia, obviously, but you've had an opportunity there to do something really special to cap off this Star Wars event, and you going forward to perfectly end Star Wars with new characters we don't know or necessarily care about. I don't see how you can make a perfect ending for Star Wars, because you've not got something there that's from the OG. You've not got something there that's original. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'll say this.
I'm not saying they can't, but I'm saying it's very unlikely. So going forward, Colin, if that's your question, no. If it was the trilogy that they've already done, say if it's in this trilogy, the sequel trilogy wasn't about, then I'd be like, of course I want it to end it perfectly there. Or if they can keep it going, keep going.
And this is what I also want to say as well. I think a lot of people would agree that we had the perfect ending in 1983 with Return of the Jedi. So I just wanted to mention that first of all. Well, lastly. But right. Fuck it. I don't know what it is, right? We can fucking talk about Star Wars when we do. We just don't shut the fuck up.
Delightful.
Yeah. And show us your t-shirt, Kyle. Go on. It's topical. Yeah. The OG, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. Yeah, my boy Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm not going to say what I was going to say because we'd get cancelled. Right, next topic. The boys are back together. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds, Sean Levy, Hugh Jackman brought us my favourite film of the year this year. Not the best film of the year, but my favourite film of the year. Deadpool and Wolverine. They're getting back together. All three of them. Sorry. Now, this is coming to us from John Campier. we know from the other day that Ryan Reynolds says he's working on a film for him, Sean Levy, and Hugh Jackman to work on together. He's writing that. Well, John Campea has been told it is this film that Ryan's already attached to, called Boy Band, and it's going to be full Monty-esque. So it's going to be a comedy. They're going to be back together. We don't really know any plot details about it, but Kyle, are you excited to see these three working together again? It's not a Marvel film, but I think we said in our Deadpool and Wolverine review, we would watch anything with these two together. And Sean Levy directing as well is just a cherry on top of the cake. How are you feeling about this?
I'm very excited. Obviously, you know, it took a long time for us to get, you know, going into Deadpool and Wolverine, it took a long time for us to get Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, we've had them before on screen, but we won't talk about that.
We did a video on the channel about X-Men Origins Wolverine, our review. Very funnily edited by Kyle, by the way. I'll just add that in.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I definitely think that it took a while for us to get these two characters, these two iconic characters on the screen together. That's what we always wanted. But Colin, as well, as the years went on and we got used to these characters and who plays them, you know, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, it was just nice to get them two on screen together. Just the chemistry they've had, you know, off screen when it comes to sort of like promos and other things like that, you know, outside of the films. It's been really nice to see, and I'm just over the moon that they got to be together in a film and they got to be as Deadpool and Wolverine together in a film. So yes, Callum, I'm really excited because it's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and like you said, Sean Levy being the director is really the cherry on top for this. So
How stiff you, Willie?
I'm over the moon. I can't. I'm getting whiskey dick right now.
You get semi-medium chub. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Swallow, like your mum.
Ah,
That's the noise she makes as well. Yeah.
oh my God.
Look, I'm thrilled about this. Now, it's called Boy Band. You can only assume what that means for the film. Like, are they part of, like, a boy band? Or, I think it'd be funny if they de-aged them and did them as, like, a boy band. Or, are they gonna be like an old boy band that's getting back together? You know, for like, they need money or something like that, so they absolutely despise each other, but it's like, oh, I've divorced 3 times and got 71 kids. They all need child support.
I see. I know, like, probably not going to happen, but I think it'd be fucking hilarious if they did a what's the word called when
Masturbating.
It's a type. No.
Oh, right.
You know, Bohemian Rhapsody, a biopic. That's
Yes.
it, kind of like a biopic.
Yeah.
But it's on NSYNC, and how they made Bye Bye Bye. That'd be fucking hilarious.
I think
I'd
because this
That'd
story,
be pretty
this
funny.
story's coming from Campia, and I watched a bit of his show, and they were all saying, like, do you know what a mockumentary is, Kyle?
Mhm.
So something like The Office, What We Do in the Shadows esque, like a.
I know what it is.
Yeah,
I know what
like,
it is. But
like a film crew
describing
following them. It's
yeah, and it's taking the piss. It's like
Yeah.
it's meant to, another good one is Philomena Kunk,
Yes.
Life on Earth or something like that. That's on Netflix.
Spinal
released
Tap.
in the UK.
Spinal Tap.
I ain't seen that one.
It's old. It's where the thing came from on Cable's gun, where he turns it up to 11, and he's like, it's like, see, most of them do 10, but ours goes up to 11. It's like, all right, well, wouldn't you just make 10 the loudest? Yeah, but ours does 11. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that idea. You know, having a mockumentary. I'm so down for that. I don't feel like we get enough
Yeah.
good mockumentaries. Like, you know, well, I say good. I mean, we just don't get enough of them in
Yeah.
general.
One other
definitely
thing I
feels
want to
like
add before you speak
a new
anymore.
style of parody.
Campia did say, but he said he can't confirm this. He said he can 100% confirm that it's boy band. And Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are doing that together next. But he said he can't 100% confirm this, but Channing Tatum might be joining him for it as well.
Well, I'd say that's 100%.
That's
like
just
confirmed.
Perfect. I would love. The more I'm hearing about this is, and we need to put our money where our mouth is when this comes out, because we've said we'll see anything that these two are in together, and I think we will.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's nice to hear them. You know, they're taking it, and this will be like a nice break for them. It's like, right, let's not get on that Marvel schedule. Let's do this. Let's maybe, when we're on the set, joke about doing Deadpool and Wolverine 2. What could we do with it? And then they could have the brain running with that while they're doing this, and then go, all right, I think we're ready for Deadpool and Wolverine 2. So it's just nice to keep them all working together, because that, you know, that melting pot is just going to be working all the time of, guys, what are we doing next? Come on, we all love working together. Fuck it. Marvel will give us unlimited money to do Deadpool and Wolverine 2. It's the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. And sorry to all the people who thought Joker 2 would catch up to it this year.
No chance. No chance.
Yep. I was one of them silly people who said, well, there's a possibility. You know, the first one did so well out of nowhere. Boy, don't I look like a fucking idiot.
You're like a silly goose right now.
I can't show mine.
Yeah, you can't. You can't show yours, mate. You can't do that. No.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna. But yeah, just a quick one, Kyle, before we move on to the next topic. You know, on a scale of 1 to very erect penis, how are you looking? You know, where are you for this film?
I'm excited. I'm really, really happy that them two, all three of them, really are coming back together. And I know we, you know, you said Sean Levy being the director is the cherry on top. After you said Channing Tatum, I think that's the cherry on top for me. Just having them four working together on the big screen, doing whatever they do best. It's going to be a good time at the cinemas.
Anyway, Kyle, thanks for that, because speaking of Channing Tatum, Gambit, we haven't talked about Gambit for a long time. I've actually got a full video recorded, which I need to still edit, of me talking about the Gambit film we never got. I'm quite proud of it. I just need to edit loads of stuff into it. But this is coming to us from Ryan Reynolds, like the synergy of this episode. Marvel Studios is obsessed with Channing Tatum as Gambit. And he said, look, they didn't know how it would work, but sometimes you just got to get it in front of the face and show them. And show them that it can work. And they're obsessed with it. Now, as much as I would like to think, oh, this means we're getting a Gambit movie, and I would love to get a Gambit movie, I don't think we are, but I think what it does mean is we are going to see Channing Tatum definitely at some point in the future, if it's Avengers Secret Wars, a Deadpool and Wolverine 2, something along them lines. Maybe he'll be in the new X-Men lineup. I didn't think this was possible, but maybe he'll be in the X-Men reboot. Just maybe.
Could be.
And obviously, you know,
they're gonna make him do it till he's 90 now.
Yeah, obviously we know that portal opened, that clip that Ryan Reynolds posted, and he turns around and the Marvel Sparkle circle's there, and he's like, "Oh fuck yeah!" And we can only assume what happens next. But Kyle, hearing that Marvel Studios is obsessed with Channing Tatum as Gambit, what do you think that means for the future of the character? Do you think we're going to see him in Secret Wars, a Deadpool and Wolverine 2, or possibly he could be actually joining the X-Men reboot as Gambit?
I definitely think him being on the cards for being in the next X-Men film is going to be, you know, it's very likely going to happen now. You know, even before Gambit was shown, with portrayal by Channing Tatum, even before that, I think it was like, yeah, they need to do Gambit, man, because everyone wanted to see Gambit for such a long time.
Even after Deadpool and Wolverine, I thought, right, I love that they've brought him in as Gambit, but I never thought that they would put him in the X-Men reboot as Gambit, but now that we're hearing these things that Marvel's obsessed with him as Gambit, and he looks fucking good for his age, and he's not exactly that old either. He could probably do another 10 year if he wanted.
He's very athletic, and he's got the moves to.
Oh, yeah, and
Gambit.
You know that because your mum used to make you watch Magic Mike on sofa with her.
It was actually Step Up, but
That's what your dad told me anyway.
What your dad told me?
No,
What?
Your dad told me.
Why?
Your dad told me
That's
that you.
strange.
Right, let's move on. This is getting weird.
You're getting weird.
I always do.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited.
Is that you just excited?
So I'm just a bit excited. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it though. Obviously, X-Men reboot. Do you think we're going to see him in Secret Wars?
As a not a cameo per se, but definitely more of a kind of like he had definitely a smaller part than he did in this film. Do you know what I mean? He's just kind of be like Endgame. You had all these great background characters, and they sort of had like a little moment. I guess I think that's probably where we'll see him next. That is very likely. But going forward after that, I think so. Yeah, I mean, Channing Tatum, he's got the love for this character, and I'm sure he'd be happy to keep going forward, pushing through, and giving us a great adaptation of Gambit.
Yeah, definitely. It's weird as well because we've got Ryan Reynolds, who's out here advocating for Channing to come back as Gambit. He did a little bit of Wesley Snipes' Blade, but not as much as he's been pushing Channing as Gambit, and that's clearly because he recognises what he went through trying to get Deadpool made. Look, the studio now knows that this works. A memeable character as well, because people can't understand what the fuck he's saying. It's weird.
Yeah, no,
because
I definitely think Ryan Reynolds. I agree with you with what Ryan Reynolds is doing though. Like he's trying to create that buzz and that hype around something because he did that with obviously Deadpool releasing that footage.
Well, I think we've got to give a bit of credit to Channing Tatum as well because he's not creating the buzz and hype around it. He's just making us remember and pointing back to it. Look how good Channing was as Gambit. Let's get this thing fucking rolling. Come on. Look how good Channing was as Gambit. And I think we all agree that Channing was definitely the best. I don't want to say cameo because them roles definitely weren't cameos that serve story purpose. If anyone had a cameo, I'd say it was Chris Evans as Human Torch. But
that was definitely a cameo, yeah.
But Channing Tatum's character in this was fantastic. And it worked. Even though you can't understand a fucking word he's saying. Was he a nasty? Stuff like that. But it's just, can you translate that into being a leading man? And maybe,
I think so.
You need subtitles, but
no, I think the accent would be a lot less.
Yeah, because they told him to dial it up.
Yeah. It worked for the humour aspect of it with Deadpool. I think it'll be funny if you go through a Gambit film, or you have Gambit show up in the X-Men movie, and let's say, you can all understand him fine, the X-Men can understand him fine, but Deadpool's still struggling. He's like, what the f*** are you talking about? And he's like, no, that's a great idea. And Deadpool's like, no, seriously, what the fuck did he say?
Who is your dialogue coach?
Yeah.
I think what Gambit's trying to say is...
Screw it, just pan up the blade.
Yeah. So yeah, look, stories like this are making me think, I kind of want to watch Deadpool and Wolverine tonight. But I'll save it for weekend. Have you watched it since it's been out of cinema?
No.
No. Are you waiting for Disney
I've been
Plus?
wanting to. I've been wanting to. I feel like it's like, I think, I think it was like the 25th of October, around that time, I was like, fuck, I really want to watch this film. Like, I was proper hyped and in the mood for it, and I was like, it's coming out towards, like next month, so I was like, if I hold back...
Next Tuesday, I believe.
It is, 12th, I think. So I'm like, I can wait. The more I wait,
The
the
better
more
it's gonna
excited
be.
I
Yeah,
am going to be. Yeah, yeah.
I've watched it like 3 times since I got it on Amazon. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if I could borrow your account, but
Yeah,
like I say, I just want to wait.
you can do it if you want, mate.
That's okay. I've got loads to do anyway, so
All right, well,
yeah,
you can't ask me again. You are waiting now.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, right. Anyway, Marvel's obsessed with Channing Tatum as Gambit. We was obsessed with Channing Tatum as Gambit. So, yeah, we'll see what the future holds. Anyway, Kyle, should we get on to our final topic?
Yes.
You can say no if you don't want to.
No.
All right, that'll do us for today, guys. You don't have a choice, mate. We're doing this.
Oh no.
Right, guys, I want you to take your memory back to the year of 2022, where people had only just discovered Nirvana and was playing Something in the Way constantly. I know me and Kyle was. But if you remember when the Batman came out, there was a little cameo at the end of that from Barry Keoghan as the Joker. At least we think it was the Joker. Just a small little part. And then, like 2 months after the film came out, they released a deleted scene on YouTube of Batman talking to the Joker, which were very interesting.
Yeah, it takes the paperclip out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it takes the paperclip out and it's like, ooh. Now, this is just a rumour, and we're speaking about this before James Gunn shoots it down, and as we're speaking about it, James Gunn has probably already shot it down. But
Probably.
just like the Penguin, which this is quite believable because they've said they want to do more villain spin-off TV shows, just like the Penguin, which has been fantastic, by the way. Did you watch Monday's episode?
I haven't actually. No, and
Wow.
I'll get to talk about it after you've said your piece.
If they can do a, so they're planning on doing a Joker series. If they can do one that's anything like the Penguin, I'm here all day for it. And that's where they get to add these more R-rated elements and stuff like that. But the plan is to have the Joker series come out after the Batman Part 2 and then lead into him being the main villain in the Batman Part 3. Now, for me, that is... Wait, does that mean Oz is going to be the villain, like the main villain, in the Batman Part 2? Because I kind of thought Penguin were just going to be like Scarecrow was in the Dark Knight trilogy. He was just a see-through character. He was in them all. He always had his appearance. But do you think that kind of makes Oz the main villain for the Batman Part 2? I hope not, because I'd just like him being this background, who gets in Batman's way sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, we can't really talk more on Barry Keoghan being Joker, because we haven't seen that much from him. What I've seen, I've enjoyed. I like how they've designed the character. But, I think it was kind of obvious that he was going to be a villain to Batman at some point in these upcoming films. You don't tease Joker for nothing. And I think him not doing it in the second film's a good thing as well, because they did that in The Dark Knight. So save him for the third. But Kyle, a Joker series on Max, in the same light as the Penguin. How do you think? What do you think about that?
Right. Full disclosure, I really like the Batman film. It's phenomenal. I think Callum, you definitely like it a little bit more than me, and that's fair. But I definitely I love the film.
Second favourite comic book film of all time.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, for me, it's like maybe fourth or something like that.
Who the fuck?
Anyways. Yeah, but no, I still really enjoyed the film, and I still think it's great. Matt Reeves is a terrific director. He did a fantastic job with his previous things like Planet of the Apes. But yeah, going into this, then doing a Joker show, I think it's, I don't know, I thought it would maybe scare them a little bit after the disaster that was Joker 2. But at the end of the day, it's a very different, it's a very different playing, let's say, like a different, I don't know how to put it, environment, shall we say, because, this is, if they do Joker from the Matt Reeves universe, then it's a very like, this universe is already established, it's already successful. Let's just do this character, which didn't
Yeah.
do too well in its own separate thing in a film, which was completely separate. Now, I'm enjoying The Penguin. I definitely don't think it's one of the best shows. I still think there's better shows out there when it comes to comic book shows. But I still really enjoy it, and I think, obviously the portrayal of Penguin is phenomenal. Like the effects and the way he acts, it's phenomenal. I won't say it's not. It's weird that Joker was even featured in the Batman. It just felt like, why do this character if you're not ready to really flesh him out and show him?
Yeah.
Why tease it this early? And if I hope it wasn't because they had a plan of doing the show for Joker before he even gets a confrontation with Batman. Because at the end of the day, Colin, like,
Well, I think about 9 months ago it was confirmed that he's gonna be in the Batman Part 2. That was
yeah,
plan.
fair enough. I just think, like, when you've got this much depth in this universe already, and then you just throw like a curveball of adding the Joker in there, it just felt a little random. Like, for me, this might be a bit controversial here, but the film, it doesn't necessarily make it better. But I feel like if you took that little cameo out of Joker, I wouldn't be bothered.
Well,
I'd be fine with it.
here's the thing: that little cameo where you barely see him or out like that, it's like, okay. I think they could have taken that out and put that other scene in, and it would have served the film a lot better. I don't think it would have felt shoehorned in at all.
Yeah, potentially.
Because
Yeah,
it had
I
narrative
do.
purpose. It was like, you're a fucking psychopath. How the fuck do I find this psychopath?
Yeah, no, I get that, and I think that probably could work if I'd rewatched that scene again and just had to think about it. But yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, this is strange that it's going to be Joker, because I understand with the Joker, he is such a big character. Obviously, the first Joker film made over $1 billion, and it's an R-rated film. So they could do a Joker show
Well,
where it helps.
cow. Get it right.
What?
It will be the Joker.
What do you mean?
Well, because it's the Batman, the Penguin.
Oh, right.
It'll be
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Joker.
yeah. But I'm saying, if they do the Joker, they could, obviously, it'd be fine building up to the third film if that's where he's going to be the main antagonist. I could see him working. I could see that working with the Joker. I'm just like, I'm still invested into this crime aspect of Gotham, and I think that works really, really well for the Batman. And I don't know. We'll have to wait
But
and see. I feel
isn't
like this
that
is
what the
something
Joker
that's
does best? You insert him in this world and it's just pure chaos. Because you don't know what his motives are. His motives are just to watch the world burn. And I think that's what you need sometimes. A character like that. Because we've got, all these criminals. But like you see in The Penguin, they've got a code. Well, apart from Oz. he seems to be the only one without one. But maybe that's what this whole story is. It's about this honor among thieves and stuff like that. It's all just going. As soon as Penguin takes over the underworld, it's like, all right, well, they'd have done fucking anything to get in here. You can't trust a word he says. So it's just this de-evolution into chaos after. Maybe it's like these crime families that were very much like Spider-Man PS4. It's like when Kingpin gets locked up, it's like, you're going to fucking wish I was out. I give you 1 month and it's going to go to shit. And what happens? It goes to shit. So,
yeah. I mean, the door is definitely still open for the Joker character, and I'm sure Barry will do a fantastic job as the Joker. I just don't. I can't say much, and I don't really. I can't say I'm
it's
excited or
hard
I'm
when we
not.
haven't seen so much of the character.
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't seen a right lot of this character, so it's hard to say if it'll be good or not, because he could show up in the Batman Part 2, and we could absolutely hate his performance and go, well, that wasn't a good Joker. So you just don't know.
Yeah.
But if it's anything like the Penguin's been, I'm there for it. You itching your ass?
How would you fare to say, like, if they did something new and fresh with the Joker and you know,
Made it a
having the
musical.
multiple
I'm there for it.
no, having the multiple Jokers. So say, like, you know, this Joker influences another Joker kind of thing. Like, I think I'm more down for that than sticking with one Joker. It gives us something new, it gives us something fresh, and you know, it keeps Batman really on his toes, because this is the type of Batman where he's like fully ingrained as being the Batman, and you know, he's gonna have to go further than that. He's, you know, if you can go further, and it's if he had multiple versions of like the Joker to deal with, it'd be, you know, it'd present a new challenge to Batman that I don't think we get to see much. We don't get to see that often. Really stress out what it means to deal with the Joker.
I think one Joker's enough. Considering we've already got so many, like right now. And it's what we're going to add another 2 actors in. So that's 3 Jokers in one film.
Yes, if it wasn't for the Joker currently coming out, then I'd say, you know, but I still think it'd be a fresh way to sort of do the Joker character.
It's John Clint time.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, maybe Shitface will be one of the villains. It's from the Arkham Reddit. It's the name for Clayface. I remember when you first read that and you were howling, mate. You were howling.
What does the line go like? It goes like, who let Shitface out or something like that. Oh, no. Why is he called Shitface? Is he stupid? It's just a big. He does look like Shitface though.
Yeah. Oh, right, guys. I think that'll do us for today. God, Kyle, we've been speaking for a long time.
I am hungry.
You're hungry. So am I. But right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know down below what your favourite topic of the day was. Or was it just seeing Kyle's face? Because that's a very interesting topic in itself. But yeah, thanks for watching. And we will see you... We might have something up this weekend for you. Kyle might not. I might, depending on when the Daredevil Born Again trailer drops, because it is D23 Brazil, and I really am expecting some at this time for Daredevil Born Again. So hopefully, if not, I'm gonna masturbate and cry.
Yeah,
it's
just gonna be a 20-minute video of Callum crying.
and masturbating.
You can't do that on YouTube, mate.
Watch me. See you later.